Ceremonies, roll call. We're all here except for Cindy, who's still on vacation, but she's coming back like tomorrow or something. Okay. Are there any conflicts of interest for tonight's agenda? Okay. Consent agenda. Do I have a motion on the treasurer?
Move to approve. Second.
And I should have said all the consent agendas instead of me breaking it up, but so first and second. All in favor? Okay. Approval of minutes. No motions? Oh, I was supposed to have said both of them. I could do them together.
Yep.
Approval of minutes for the last meeting.
Motion approved. Second.
Okay, any corrections, comments, clarifications? Oh, all done then. All in favor? Okay. For claim deeds, we don't have any. Board of Assessors, nothing. Town Managers report. Alcina, the floor is yours.
All right, I'm gonna make this really quick for a abridged version, just because we have a lengthy meeting tonight. So, an update on the work, the rural economy for rural communities. The last meeting that we'll be holding with the planning assistance team will be September 1st. Anyone that's interested in any of the initiatives, once the action tables and the plan comes out, if you have any interest in a particular project or just want to be involved, please reach out and we'll get you connected with whichever committee might go ahead and frontier that, move that position on. Next up is Public Works. In the coming weeks, you're going to see heavy truck traffic between the town gravel pit and Public Works. They will be putting up winter sand. They plan on starting that next week, next Monday, and it takes about a week to shuttle, pile, and cover the sand. Next is Planning Board and Board of Appeals vacancies. Asking if anyone is interested in joining the Planning Board or the Board of Appeals. We currently have a vacancy on the Planning Board, and then we have 7 on the Board of Appeals. We'll take 5 to 7, that is, for Board of Appeals. Planning Board meets generally once a month. Board of Appeals meets as needed. If you need further information, I'll direct it to Code Enforcement Nan for that. Next item is I recently attended the Low Vision Group monthly meeting that is held at the Commons. It was actually really interesting conversation. It was nice, nice to get to listen to folks that don't really get a lot of attention, or at least are not in the forefront on a lot of things. So we had really good conversation about the accessibility and the safety about walking our streets. And this is not only town specific, it's everywhere. So we always think slow down, children at play, but really we should keep in our mind about slow down for the whole community. Our streets are shared by the children, seniors, bicyclists, and pedestrians, and of all ages and abilities. So extra few seconds make a big difference and help keep our community safe. And then kind of to piggyback off of that, we have back to school coming, starting August 26th. Seto and FA will be back in session. So wishing everybody a good start to the new school year. Please be careful for students walking and biking, as well as any teachers that might commute to school. Next update. Sorry, I'm running through this real quick because we have a pretty jam-packed thing. We have a new audiologist in town. I don't know if anybody's heard. They've taken up shop.
What'd you say?
Yeah, I think it's somebody.
No pun intended. Yeah, because that was good. All right, so yeah, I've learned that actually at the Low Vision Group, we were having a conversation on that, and so yeah, they've opened up its Audiology Center of Maine, and they are located in the RSU building on the Bangor Road. And so that's great that we actually have the services now closer to home, and folks don't have to travel as far. And then I believe my last item is the fair. So August 27th to 30th, on Thursday, the 27th, they will be having fireworks on behalf of my birthday. Just kidding. They always have fireworks. That's their opening day, but I like to think it's for me. The fair is a great local tradition and a good opportunity to support people and our local organizations who put so much work into making it happen every year. Get out, enjoy the fair, soak up the last bit of summer, and that's all I have for my report.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We're moving on to public hearing for a Tokyo One liquor license. Got that in front of us, for renewals, we have, you can please weigh in, but this is a brand new application. Welcome. And I hear a motion on this.
No, public hearing.
Oh, okay, that's right. Are there any comments from the board? Any questions from looking over the application?
From the restaurant here. Yeah.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you for coming to our town, and opening business. Anything? Anything from the public about the new restaurant? Questions? You can have answered right here.
I've heard it's good.
It's the one. I had to try.
That will go on the record then. Okay, so this is a requirement.
Being used again.
Hmm?
It's great to have
Yes.
space open again.
Exactly. So this is a requirement the state has for new liquor license applications. Okay, if there's no comments or questions or anything, I'll close that. Gonna go into open session and I'm going to warn everybody, I'm going to use the timer tonight because we do have a packed agenda tonight and our normal time is 3 minutes per person. If anything longer than that can be submitted in writing or at another meeting or make an appointment with Alcina and she can communicate that to us. But in terms of right now, it's really gonna be 3 minutes. So please keep that in mind, everybody. Okay, who's up first?
Good evening all. I don't know if I'm supposed to stand or sit or whatever you like to take my hat off.
State your name at first.
Sure, my name is Scott Hardy and I am with Fresh Start. Fresh Start, I'm gonna read a little bit about Fresh Start. I had to prepare this and I'll try to read it fast. And I did do it in 3 minutes. Let's see how fast I can read it. For those of you who may not be familiar with Fresh Start, we are a nonprofit organization dedicated to providing safe, structured, affordable, sober living housing for individuals in recovery. Since we began, our goal has been simple: to give people in recovery a foundation, accountability, and community they need to rebuild their lives. Recovery works, but it requires stability. That is what Fresh Start provides. We're currently looking to acquire the property at 8 Monument Square. It's a wonderful historic building right in the heart of town, and it's huge. Its location allows residents easy access to local resources, work opportunities, community support without needing to rely heavily on personal vehicles. That's what brings me to this. Acquiring the property means expanding a proven model of recovery into Dover, helping local residents transform their lives and contribute back to the town. I want to directly address the primary question surrounding this acquisition, and it's the parking. Currently, the main holdup on finalizing this acquisition is that no deeded parking belongs strictly to 8 Monument Square. We understand why that raises a natural question for the town and the board. However, the unique advantage of 8 Monument Square is its surrounding footprint. The town owns the municipal land directly adjacent to and around the property. Because the town owns the surrounding land, we are asking to work collaboratively with municipal leadership to secure a practical solution. Whether that means entering into a municipal parking agreement, a formal lease for designated spaces, or utilizing shared public parking, we know a workable path does exist. Furthermore, by the very nature of supportive sober living, many of our residents rely on other transportation, such as walking, shared rides with other vehicles, keeping our actual parking footprint very light. We are not asking for special treatment. We are asking for a partnership. Fresh Start has a strong track record of being excellent neighbors, maintaining our properties, and adding value to every community we join. Working together to resolve this parking detail allows us to turn a vacant or transitioning property into a beacon of recovery and hope to Dover-Foxcroft. thank you for your time and your leadership. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And you did quite that with your time. Okay. So much so, I'm gonna have to wait just 20.
And so you can keep one, this was sent in by Bangor, or just, kind of supporting document.
Yeah.
Yeah.
References that. Not. Yes. Okay. Next.
I'd like to talk about Fresh Start a little bit.
Just say your name first and we'll be all set.
I'm Crystal Hoffman. I'm the county advocacy liaison.
Excellent.
So, one of my main job is to help people find recovery resources. And Gadsden County just doesn't have many at all. We really are a resource desert. I am often giving people a ride to Southern Maine and Northern Maine out Bangor, Brewer. So having sober living facility right here in Dover-Foxcroft would be huge for recovery. It also would show people in our community that recovery is possible here. So I think it would be a great addition.
Thank you. Thank you for your volunteerism. All right. Next. Anybody else? Yep, sure. Sid.
RJ Horowitz, I just have a question about, what is the volume of people that you're anticipating going through the program? Is it seasonal? And how far is I'm sorry, what's the address? 8 How far is that from, alcohol establishments? Is there a distance or anything like that?
Oh, it's very near. It's the big building right by the mill. Used to be the dental office. Do you want me to answer these questions?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, it's a 20-room house. We anticipate having a full capacity of 12 people. Now, that's very rarely attained. It's year-round, of course. It's retired sober housing. It's not drunk housing or crack house, the total opposite. So whether the location isn't far from where the liquor's sold, that's for sure. But that's anywhere. If you want to get drunk and do drugs, you can find it wherever you are. And so I hope that is something.
Is it seasonal at all? Do you find that there's more in the winter versus the summer?
We're full, we currently have 20-something houses and we're almost always full.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for choosing us.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Anybody else?
Leslie Furno, I just want to, I didn't know you were coming, but I just want to support this, this effort, and I think you respectfully stated your request. It's really important that we have a facility in our region. We've got lots of people who can use it, and we haven't had any place where people can go. So I think this is a very important project, and I support it.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Sue Mackey Andrews, and I live here in town, and I'm with Helping Hands with Heart. I've seen you before and presented to this board, and seeing some new faces around the table reminds me that I need to do that again, or new staff will do that again. I am really in support of having a Fresh Start facility here. We send area residents on referral to Fresh Start very, very often. And it's always hard. It's hard to have to go away for recovery, and it's hard to experience your recovery and then not be able to be close to family, friends, your kids, your parents. It's very difficult, and it only delays people's re-entry back into recovery. I was doing a grant today, and loosely I can estimate that of the people that we serve, which is about 50% of the population at any one time of the county, about 45% of them are affected by substances in a direct way. And so this is really important for us, important for our region. and important for the families and young people that are here to be able to stay here and to thrive. So thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Okay. There's nobody else? Oh,
Doesn't have to deal with this subject or is it?
no, your floor is yours.
All right, my name's Pamela Walton. I just want to voice that I'm very displeased with the town of Dover-Foxcroft and the handling of the 2-hour parking ordinance. I feel I've been lied to several times about it. I was first told there was no ordinance, so the police department would not enforce it. That if I was to call the police and have them come down, they wouldn't do anything about it because by the time it went to court, it would be thrown out because there is no parking ordinance. A year after I started checking on it, because I was positive there was an ordinance, I was told, yes, I was correct, there is no ordinance. It was amended, sorry. I want to say 2019. Sorry, it was amended March 28, 2016. There had been a parking ordinance in effect. From at least February 26th of 1990. I have a problem with no one enforcing it. I've been steadily complaining about the parking down in front of my business. It has put a very big hardship on my business because people cannot get to it. There are anywhere from 8 to 9 people that have businesses right there locally. Between the business owners and the people that they rent to are taking up all of the parking spaces all day long and into the evening. One car parked there for 5 consecutive days without moving. To me, the police department should notice this. They've been notified that there's a problem there. They've noticed, and other people have noticed, open parking spots often throughout the day. But as I asked them, did you happen to notice these 8, 9 cars that are parked there all day, at least 5 days a week? From, I go to work at 9 o'clock in the morning, I quit at 4. They are parked there before I get there, they're parked there when I leave. I've complained many, many times and get no results. I've been told recently they will not have no intentions of enforcing the parking ordinance because it may cause a hardship on businesses. That's what I've been complaining about for more than a year and a half, has put a hardship on my business. I went to these other places before I started anything anywhere. I asked them nicely to please find other parking arrangements during business hours. After I'm out, I don't care, and I have one person that makes sure he's parked there at least 2 hours, if not more, before I get done at 4 o'clock. So even at him being there at 2, and the parking ordinance, I believe, goes through until 8, that's 4 hours. 6 hours that the guy is still parked there when he shouldn't be. I've got, I was told to do what I needed to do. That's when I went to the PD in the first place. I'm not getting any help anywhere. I put my business up for sale because I'm so tired of fighting with everyone about parking. It's a good location. It's a good business, but if people can't get there, at least every other week, I have people complaining because they can't stop to do business with me. They have to ride around town
4, 5, 6 times before they can find a place to park. I don't understand why the ordinance is not enforced. I don't know if my 3 minutes is up.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sorry, and I'm
No,
excited.
obviously, this is important to you. It is something that has been discussed. But we're not, this is open session, we're not taking any action on it, but we are definitely aware of the issues, aware of the hardship that you're claiming for your business. We're aware of all of that, and we are discussing how to address it. The reason why it hasn't really been addressed is, well, I mean, enforced, is that there hasn't been a systemic reason to. And I'm talking about the town-wide, and there has been the usual problem that comes up is plowing. That's where we've had issues where people have left their cars while we're trying to plow. But in terms of just regular daily business, we don't have a parking warden. We don't task our police to spend their time going around chalking tires. So
I was told at first it would be enforced. Then I'm given 7 reasons as to why they're not going to enforce it.
okay, this is something that really should be, you should come in and talk to Alcina directly about this.
I have.
Yeah, yes,
Go ahead, you can finish. I just want to speak when you're done.
no, you go right ahead.
Well, my name's Darrell Walton. I'm Pamela's husband. Alcina knows that she's been in and talked to her 4 or 5 times. Alcina's gone around delivering papers to these people that are violating the parking ordinance, telling them, she says, don't park here more than 2 hours, you'll be towed. All they've done is moved across the street, where it's also a 2-hour park, no signs. That's on you guys. Signs not being put up, it's on who does that? All right, that's you guys, right? If you don't put the signs back up, they always used to be signs. They stopped enforcing it years ago. Nobody budgets the money for the police department. Only got 1 officer on duty. It's a problem that nobody's doing anything about, and you just passed it off as nothing. We can't enforce it town-wide, it's a town-wide
No, I
ordinance.
was just saying that I wasn't saying them dismissing as nothing. I'm saying it has not been enforced town-wide because there hasn't been a systemic issue brought to our
There
attention.
hasn't been an issue of parking in town since they put the mall in, because the town's going down. You know that. You've been here a long time. I've been here my whole life. I know what the problem is. No enforcement. You got people that park on the sidewalk on Lincoln Street. You're talking about safety issues, but they park on the sidewalk. That's not safe, is it, or is it wasted? If you don't enforce anything, it dies away until it is an issue, and nobody wants to do anything. That's what she's facing, and has been facing for 1 3/4 years. Nobody wants to do, evidently, their job. Because you got an ordinance that should be enforced, right? Or am I wrong?
Oh, you're correct.
Okay, then nobody wants to do that. Whether you didn't budget the money for the police department, or whatever the issue is, it's an issue that nobody else seems to think is an issue. I myself take her to work, I take her out. I see the same cars parked there day after day, all day long. And it seems to be okay. They want to cause a hardship, you said, for the hairdressers and the restaurants. What restaurant in town doesn't have its own parking or a parking lot behind it? Does anybody know? Every restaurant in town, there's in Tokyo, Pat's Pizza, Riverside Grill, all have their own parking or parking lot behind it. It's not gonna cause a hardship for it to be enforced. That's all she's asking. To enforce the rules that are already on the books by the town. You see a problem doing that?
Nope.
Why hasn't anything been done in 1.5 years then? Takes that long to discuss it? You see that she's frustrated and upset, and that makes everyone involved upset. I don't think it's necessary to be upset. Something should be done about it. And it's not. She's been told by our town manager, we don't plan on enforcing this. Well, that causes a problem, doesn't it, or does it?
I don't believe I specifically said we don't plan on.
She's got it in writing from you in an email where you said you don't plan to enforce it. Don't go there, okay?
It was stated that the ordinance needs to be looked at by the ordinance review committee because a lot of it is antiquated. Because right now, if we stay here more than 2 hours, we're all illegally parked. We're all getting tickets, right? If we enforce it. So that's kind of what the whole aspect of it is. The ordinance committee, this was discussed multiple times within our production committee. Pam has attended those meetings when we discussed the parking. And it's come to that conclusion that enforcing something that is antiquated will cause, and it wasn't only restaurants and hairdressers, it's businesses, period. So any events that are happening at the theater, you're looking at Central Hall, like just anything, even having tonight's meeting. If we go over 2 hours, we are all getting tickets.
No, because there's no enforcement. There's no.
Well, no, but if it was to be.
What we're gonna do is we're gonna change the ordinance so you don't have to enforce it. That's what we do.
No,
No,
it's
that's not it. It,
That's-
Well, that's why it's looking.
all right, we're well past our time. We understand the issues. This is a complicated thing, and right now, people can move their car every 2 hours and just move the next space over.
And that's what
And
they're
that's-
doing.
And that's no better, but that's legal under the ordinance, so that doesn't help you either.
So there's no enforcement is what doesn't help us.
I'm saying that they can get around it right now by just scooting the car. That's because the ordinance doesn't specify things.
Some of them are doing that, some of them aren't. They're still parking there.
So it needs to be looked at. Again, we are redoing our ordinances anyway.
Yeah.
So there we go. All right.
Yeah.
Moving on. Anybody else? All right. Closing open session. Open session for the board.
I just want to acknowledge the work of the Dover-Foxcroft Fire Department and police for the recent activities that have been happening in our county. So I acknowledge, I'm not sure anyone's here, but both for Edwards as well as in Monson. My second question is this updated information on the website, which includes the list of all of the members of the select board, their phone numbers and or their emails? That's available, correct?
Have an updated copy. I don't know if the one online is the most updated. We can look at it.
Would it be the most updated?
We are missing some folks, but.
Can I circulate this and if people
Yeah.
either check it off so that we
Make sure
have
that-
accurate information that our public can directly reach us either phone, although there are some people that are working, versus asking a select board member, can you share this with other people? If you have a concern or a compliment, it needs to go direct to all members of the board. We don't work as a single person. We don't work as a clique. We work as a board. And yes, I'm frustrated because I'm not your secretary to ask me to send to someone else. If there's an issue, go direct. So there will be information, including the town manager, in which people can email or call if you have a concern. Thank you.
Yes. Anything else from the board? All right. Close open session for the board and move on to adjustments to the agenda. Are there any adjustments? Good. Okay, committee reports. We have 4 on the list. So the first one is promotion and development.
We met on July 21st. We've been still actively discussing what we can do to help the downtown area. The businesses in there, any ways we might be able to come up with something to attract them. Jane has spoken about re-upping, revamp, going on with that page.
Revitalize.
revitalizing the recreation committee. Do you want to talk about that just real quick or?
Sure. As part of the agenda, we're going to approve some committee members and hopefully our first meeting will be in early September. So we have a couple of slots open. So if anyone's interested, we also, as part of the work, action, we're looking for students, AKA, whether FA, to be involved in this kind of community discussion and or process. It's decision-making board, it's advisory. So again, we have lots to cover, but at the same time, we can only manage so much under recreation.
We also spoke about the historical committee who has identified some of the buildings that they'd like to be a part of the kind of historic walk. And I believe they are looking into what they may be able to do for signs to put on certain buildings. I think that covers the majority of what we talked about.
Good, excellent. So admin committee, would you like to do that or?
Sure.
Okay.
The bulk of the conversation was on the moratorium for data centers. As well as, reviewing the applications for committees, AKA the planning board as well as the recreation committee. I think that was the highlight.
Yep, yeah, as you said, most of the discussion was about the moratorium.
Yep.
Okay. It works.
We met on August 4th. The transfer station is in the planning process for the scale that will be coming in to be used to weigh in and weigh out the commercial trash pickups. We also have discussed the City Logics program, which will provide a scan of roads and sidewalks in the town, and basically score them on what ones should be addressed and when, to kind of give us a timetable to start making some improvements to these sidewalks and some of these roads that are in dire need of it. Lincoln Street Bridge, we're still waiting on a few of the easements to come in so that we can move forward with that. And I think that covers that as well.
Okay.
I just have a question because someone asked me with the scale at the transfer station, that has not been put in place yet?
No, because it takes structural work to put something like that in place.
Okay,
Concrete.
So we're in the planning phase of that to determine where it's gonna go and how the traffic flow is gonna go to it.
okay.
And then we'll start the process of actually building pads, getting the scale in.
Okay, because this individual's concern was how items are measured when they come in. And so I explained that, and I for some reason, I thought it was further along than it is, that there was a scale coming. So,
We haven't gotten quite to that point yet, right?
No, we're still in the engineer process of an actual engineer has to design and so there's no actual scale on site, or will there be like probably until spring, honestly.
okay, so again, the concern is coming in with a trailer, and again, we're talking a homeowner, a trailer full of brush is very different than a trailer full of tires. And so his frustration was, how is that measured? Hence, I thought I was saying correctly, the scale was going to be in place soon, but in the committee,
Yeah,
either address that in the future or.
yeah, we can definitely address that in the future.
Oh, if it's a resident, just doing residential.
Right.
Driving it, it doesn't get weighed at all.
Right. The scale is for the commercial, with these trucks coming in with multiple tons on them.
So if this person is just hauling their personal brush from their house, it's just, there's no weighing involved.
There's a flat fee.
Yes,
Right.
if they are instead hauling, so flat fee by volume. But if they're instead hauling commercially, then they would get weighed.
This is a homeowner bringing their own trash. His point was, is there a difference between hauling brush or tires?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's his point.
It's because,
So,
it's because of the different, it's because of what it is. Tires have to be disposed of a different way than brush. So that's the difference.
So is that explained in the,
Yes.
okay, it needs to be clearer for this person, so
Well, it's
It's
written
in the
all on
chart.
that sheet.
Yeah.
Fees, very clear.
I'll give you his name. I've done my part.
I will just chime in that we were pleasantly surprised. We've got some preliminary estimates on the scale itself, and we were pleasantly surprised. It was significantly less than what we had ballpark. So that will bring the cost down of the whole project. But of course, well, we've got nothing in the budget for this year to do anything beyond. I can't remember. Do we have a whole?
No, with the cost savings, hopefully that will cover the engineering work,
Got it.
everything now,
Okay.
where we came in low.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So it was good news. Well, yeah, we can go to cost things out. All right, and now production committee.
Fill in the blanks. Okay, we just met last week. I'll go over the highlights. As was stated before, the parking ordinance, through lots of discussion, it'll be referred to the ordinance committee. Again, enforcement townwide is an issue because this ordinance is not a parking ordinance. It is a use of vehicles on town roads. So we're talking rural, we're talking downtown, et cetera. So that's in the works. We followed up with Patrick on the whoopie pie. Again, things seem to be went well. There were hopefully returning attendees who again had a learning experience this year, but good things are in place for next year. We want to do two things. One, suggest to the Promotion and Development Committee to kind of check in with businesses after, not just the whoopie pie, but other activities that are happening that impact kind of townwide, to say, hey, how was your business affected? Hey, was it helpful? Whoops, what can we learn from you? Also, maybe in this case, giving out whoopie pie tokens as part of your business so that folks are coming in and that sort of thing. The other thing we want to do is to explore the use of the county resources that would be helpful, not just in the whoopie pie, but in other activities that we have sponsored here in the town. The procedure for dealing with animals in hot cars, no, you're not going to get out your hammer and start bashing. Call 911, it's their responsibility. Also, the Pleasant Street concern that was brought to us, the actions that we've taken include increased patrol in that area. The discussion has happened with a local business where there's delivery services as part of their business. He was very appreciative of the reminder that we gave him. Also, we discussed speed bumps, and at this point, we're going to try those strategies on Pleasant Street and then pursue installing the speed bumps. And again, we talked about with the installation and removal of speed bumps, the cost, the damage to the road, et cetera, et cetera. So not at this time will we be suggesting to have Pleasant Street have speed bumps. Flock cameras were also another item of discussion. And again, because we're looking to, number one, ensure people's Fourth Amendment, which is unreasonable search and seizure. We also want to protect, whether it be children, AKA we don't want to have cameras so that folks are being able to identify children who are being dropped off. We talked about the purpose of flock cameras, the control of the company that uses and or the subscription cost to the town. Hence, the committee is recommending that the select board ban the use of flock cameras as it is not appropriate for Dover-Foxcroft. We are not Boston. We're not Lewiston. We are Dover-Foxcroft. And other topics we discussed are on the agenda.
Okay, thank you. All right, that's it for any questions on any of the reports? Okay, on to new business. Hey, liquor license application for Tokyo One.
Move to approve?
Second.
Any more discussion? All in favor? Excellent. Thank you very much. All right. B, 2026, 2027 first quarter water bill, wastewater bill.
Move to approve. As presented.
Are there any questions on it? All in favor? C, 2027 MMA Executive Committee vote. This is the vote for the candidates for Maine Municipal Association Executive Committee.
Steve, can I ask questions first?
Yes, sure. Go ahead.
Alcina, are you familiar with any of these candidates?
Not personally. Yeah, no. Sorry.
We've usually, I think in the past, we've usually had the town manager make a recommend, well,
The
Yeah.
recommendation is you only have these options.
Yeah.
I guess, and that's what you have to choose. Like, it's literally pick one,
Yeah.
and there's one person.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I think it was a bio for each individual.
there was.
Okay, that was connected for you guys, yeah.
My opinion is anybody that's willing to do this work is,
Yeah.
So make the motion to have,
to approve the candidates. Make motion to approve the candidates as presented in the slate.
so,
There we go. Second. Excellent. All in favor? Okay, trailer purchase for cemetery department. Can have a little bit of a discussion about this after we get first and the second.
Move to approve. Second.
Okay, we got lots of seconds. There we go. Any questions or concerns about this purchase? Okay, it went through the Public Works Committee and we looked at bids and talked with Tom about what the best fit was. We're quite pleased with the selection. So, all in favor? Okay. All right, 2027 tax commitment. We can't vote no on this.
let's skip it. Let's skip it.
And we have Matt online, our assessor, Matt Caldwell.
Yep.
Hi, Matt.
Well, we can't blame him.
We can go back on the trailer purchase. Are we purchasing from a local business or are we going outsourcing?
I don't,
It's Bangor.
Bangor.
Bangor is the closest for that purchase. I can't remember exactly who it is, but it is Bangor.
We do put it out to bid and if
Yeah.
it's, if we do, I mean, if it's a toss up, we always go local.
Yeah.
Okay, motion on the tax commitment.
As much as I hate to.
Well, that's the first.
I'll second.
Go fix.
We have a second. Is Kevin? All right, no discussion, I'm sure. And none of us are in favor, but I'm asking for us to raise our hands anyway. Does Matt want to chime in on anything, but
How's it going, Matt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can definitely chime in if you'd like me to. Just to give you a little recap of what's been going on. So this year we ended up visiting a little over 221 properties as far as our annual spring work, our new construction pickup. Those range from a combination of building permits and then things that we found from many years ago that were still incomplete on the records. We actually had some houses that were still coded from 2005 that were still listed as incomplete. So we made sure we went out and revisited these properties door to door earlier this spring and visited everything to try to get everything as accurate and correct as possible. This year we are certifying, we're not going to certify 100%. This year we're going to certify 83% according to the state valuation. I was able to get that up a few notches from their previous recommendations down in the 70s. And that was by turning in and modifying a correct state valuation sales analysis. I think we have a lot of work in front of us on getting these properties reviewed and visited. It seemed like, a lot of the properties, as we were driving around town, there was a lot of differences out there than what we had on file. So I think the quarter reviews are going to be a great asset to the town moving forward to get things, in check and on record. It's these type of projects, as maybe not favorable at times to visit properties and things like that. I think they're necessary, especially, with Dover-Foxcroft. When we have to submit these sales analysis to the state, we're looking at these records that, we may be missing a few things with garages, additions and things like that. And when the state is comparing the selling prices of these properties to what we have for a tax commitment, our records may not always be accurate. So therefore, we're showing them a lower number than what might be if we had everything accurately accounted for, which I think will help our valuation, moving forward. So that was kind of my information.
Okay. Thank you very much. And as we all know, we're looking forward to being at the end of this process, just because our intention was to get everything straightened out, have everything be fair for everybody across the board, and to reset some of the standards, and I guess finding the ones that fell out of the Rolodex somewhere. And
Yeah.
Thank you for your work on that. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
we have a motion. The second, all in favor? Oh, you had it.
Oh, no.
Sorry, okay.
No, good.
Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it. As always, anybody has any questions, we're in the office once a week, so please feel free. We have an ongoing schedule here at the town office, so please feel free to come in and sit down and chat. We're always open to conversation.
Okay, thank you for that reminder. Okay, we're on to F, planning board member appointment.
I move to approve R.J. Horowitz to the planning board.
Second?
Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Thank you. Okay. I didn't ask you to speak up because we didn't want you to withdraw your nomination. Okay, we're on to G. Welcome, thank you. Recreation Committee member appointments. Got a number of them all going on at once.
I move to approve the committee's appointments as listed, and they are Kathleen Tebow, Mark Poulin, Scott Taylor, Amy Fagan, Cannon, Ashley Buttes, Amanda Stewart, Austin Seavey, and Josh Conroy.
Second.
Okay. So we're open for discussion. This is a great start for this committee. Good slate of people that we know are interested in it. That's good. All in favor? Oh, you're abstaining. Okay, so we have 5 and 1 abstaining. Okay. Let's see. And now we're on to City Logic's paving management program. We can have some discussion about this after first and second. Do I hear a motion? So move.
Second?
All right. Discussion on this? Yeah. Just so the public is aware, this software should help us focus better on the areas of the town roads that need improvement, where they need improvement, what type of improvement that they need. This is something that we've had an engineering firm do, humans going out and only got so much time and they focus on things. They drive around and it's all done by computers and sensors. So it's really, they can do a much much more thorough job. And then we don't have to rely upon the paving management company that we use as much. They still have a role to play, but now they won't be out accumulating the data. They'll actually be using this data. So we've got a 3-year contract with them, and we believe that it will pay for itself, just in quality of life issues as well. Okay, all in favor? Very much. Code enforcement update on 290 Shore Road South.
Okay, as you know, we've been having issues at 291 Shore Road South. And, we've been working through those. In working through those, training was made available that, town manager and I went to on subsurface wastewater, systems. And at that training, we learned that it is illegal to have a holding tank within 100 feet of the shore. And, that's what's at 290 Shore Road South right now. Also, in going out to see if it had dried up enough to ask the owners of 291 Shore Road South to move their camper closer to their septic system. As I was coming back to town, I saw a myriad of violations at 290 Shore Road South. They brought in crushed gravel, crushed slate for a driveway without the proper permits. They're well over their 20% lot coverage because of the gravel and a variety of other things. Before I did anything with them, I called DEP and had folks from Natural Resource Protection and Shoreline Zoning come out with the town manager and I to make sure I was correct. I was assessing things correctly. They found way more than I noticed. So they helped me draft a letter. They edited my letter, and I sent a certified letter in June to the owners of 290 Shore Road South. So far, nothing has been done to correct it. They are holding right now on an indoor plumbing permit. They did not have that. The plumbing inspector is here. He and I went out in July for him to look at the internal plumbing, which they had to take the walls apart, and they were supposed to do it within a week. And they did it 2 weeks ago, I think, we've not gone back out. He's not gone back out because we're trying to decide, the state site evaluator for subsurface wastewater, who informed us that the holding tank is illegal, contacted me and said he'd been contacted by the homeowner, and that because they had a sink in the camp originally that was dispersing to the ground, that this was an upgrade, and he said they would be allowed to keep it. There was no sink. I have the real estate listing from where they purchased it. There was no internal sink. There was a spigot on the outside of the camp that came from the lake onto the ground. So right now we're trying to work through all these different things with about 4 different departments of DEP. 4 people just keep reaching out to me going, what's going on? So that's kind of where I am, and just want the board to be aware of what we're facing. And I'm not quite sure how I anticipate pushback from the owners, considerable pushback. And I want the board to be aware of that. So it could go the distance, I don't know.
Okay.
And I want the board to be aware of where I am and what I'm looking at.
Okay, thank you very much. We know that it's all very, very complicated with
It is.
having multiple agencies involved. We're only the stewards of the shoreland zone. So thank you for going through that.
Okay. This was one of the issues that the Protection Committee also talked in depth about. And again, we we, the town, are enforcers of the state rules. So it's not like Dover can make up our own rules that we need to follow. And again, bottom line, violations need to be addressed consistently. And so we support the code enforcement on enforcing.
One of the things, if we don't enforce these, the state will sue us.
Yeah.
The state will sue the town for not following through. So we're kind of at a spot where we have to go forward. We can't just go, sure,
Yeah.
I mean, I have to enforce 291, I have to enforce 290, I have to enforce everywhere that there is an issue, and I have to do it evenly. I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah, and
think
that's,
you do consistently, thank you.
yeah, and that's what we want. It's same rules apply to everybody.
Quick question on that.
Yep.
So just to clarify.
Yeah.
So this one property owner that refuses to get in line could end up costing the entire town taxpayers money?
If we don't enforce it,
Right.
the state would sue us. Yes, so that's not an option
Exactly what you're hearing.
for
Yeah.
the town manager and I. I'm not gonna be responsible for my taxes going on.
Right, okay, I just wanted, thank you.
Just say nothing about yours. I don't wanna pay that.
Whatever support you need from the
Yes.
select board, let us know.
Yeah. All right, any more questions for Nan on this issue? Again, thank you very much. I know that this is very uncomfortable and difficult. We're not taking any comments.
I didn't know she needed an update for 291.
Do you want an update for 291 in the subject? No.
No, I
Okay.
think we're good.
I
We've
think we're okay.
had the information. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and thank you for that.
Thank you.
Okay, all right, thank you, Nan. We'll move on to bond anticipation notice for the Lincoln Street Bridge. Turning that one,
Move to sign the bond anticipation notice for the Lincoln Street Bridge project for option B.
Second.
Alcina, you want to say a quick word about this?
Yeah, so this is kind of our gap funding, before we get the actual bond. Which will be, the application for that will be our spring round that we'll be applying for. And that will then be dispersed in May. So we need this kind of gap funding in order to get us over. And that, just in case there's any preliminary costs that might come up prior to construction. That's pretty much the gist of it. Yeah, it's just interim financing
Yep.
essentially until we get the bond.
Delicately timed, so we're not paying money on money we're not
Correct.
using.
Yes.
Can I ask Lincoln Street Bridge questions? So when's the target?
What's that?
When is it targeted to start construction?
So we'll skip to question K, then the Lincoln Street update.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't, well, I mean, it is in there.
Moving right along.
All right,
Okay, top, right?
Get the money
good
first.
question though. All
Yeah,
right,
it is.
all in favor? Thank you. All right, so Jane, I think you're gonna get your question
Yeah.
answered.
Okay,
Good.
All right, so, as far as, I'm gonna read you an update from, cause I seriously just got a text from, just as the board meeting started. From Gordon Contracting, so. They were trying everything in their power to actually get it done within this year, but they notified me just, about an hour and a half ago. That they are waiting on some materials that might not be ready until the winter, and they do not want to open the road and have that road closed for the whole winter, which I agree with them on that.
Yeah.
I said, please don't. So the construction won't actually be until next construction season, which will start July 15th. And I anticipate they probably will want to get in the start date of, when they can do in-water work. And that's, tearing things apart and, putting in new abutments, and then also the, precast actual bridge decking. So it's unfortunate they weren't able to get the final materials, but they are starting to order materials now so that it's in line for the July start date. They only have until September 30th of this construction season to work. So there's not enough time basically for the materials to all be in.
It's unfortunate, but
Yep,
as long as it's done next year, I mean, the big concern that we've all had is that this would, due to other reasons, would be kicked even further down when we've got the Main Street, hopefully the Main Street Bridge
yeah,
being done. We wanted to get this out of the way as soon as possible. So when they remind us that they anticipated a whole month of the road being closed, what?
well, the original, they haven't actually given me like a time frame as far as how long the construction process will actually happen. They were confident if they could have gotten the decking, that's what they were waiting on. The decking material this year, they were confident within September, they would have been able to get that. So I'm hoping that it's still gonna be within a month period instead of what engineers already had anticipated, like a 2 to 3 month period. So
Okay.
it'll be a significantly shorter time frame than what was originally thought of.
Okay,
But we have to wait obviously until next construction season at this point. It's out of our hands, materials at this
yeah,
point.
yeah.
So I don't want to assume anything, but we have a contracted bid with them and or.
Correct. We still have to file all easements and have that recorded with the deeds for us to proceed with construction, even though we're not constructing this year. We still have to have that all done so that I can go ahead and move forward and order materials.
And get our funding.
Correct. Yep.
That was the major thing with all the timing of this was
Yes.
we have full year to spend the money once we get it.
We have until September, well, which funding?
The
The CDS
yeah,
funding? CDS funding expires, September 9th of next, don't hold my.
yes,
actual
next,
date,
it's
but
next year.
yeah, next year,
Yeah.
but everything needs to be buttoned up before then.
Yeah. So we're good. We're looking good for getting in all the paperwork to get that money approved. And it looks like that we're gonna be able to do it within the window that is required for the money. And
Yep,
fingers crossed, because none of us wanna pay for this.
nope,
Also, so is extending it out that far, Gordon's gonna hold true to their bid, like we're not gonna see an increase or a.
correct, yes, as long as easements are recorded with the registry of deeds as of, this week. And then we can go ahead and give them a notice to proceed. And so we basically lock them in.
Yeah.
On that pricing, and that's what they're willing to do, yep,
And then for that time frame, July to September, they're fully anticipating to be able to allow all businesses to stay open.
that's correct, that's part of the contract, yep.
Okay, any more questions? Great. Okay, done. Correspondence. RSU 68. That's in our packets. So open session, closing remarks.
I just have a comment about the parking situation. And I'm a little bit, I'm also frustrated. I'm frustrated for Pam and her business and the fact that we're really working hard to get businesses here. We're already not seeing businesses, and to treat an existing business with some, I won't say disregard, but there is an offhandedness of dealing with this that doesn't feel respectful to me. And I realize that she's made a lot of effort. She's been here. I've heard her speak before here. And there's a real concern here about her business. She's talking about, her business being up for sale because this can't get resolved. This is a serious problem for the town. And I realize it's complicated. I realize it's not easy to solve parking problems, but we really need to do that. And I feel it's respectful to say that and to say, what can we do we have to have some kind of a group meeting or get together or figure out what we're gonna do about business parking and resident parking. We have a parking problem here. So I would like to propose that there be more, another avenue to work on this problem. Because what's happening seems to be like everybody's passing it off to everybody else, but I'm not hearing resolutions here. And I share her, as a member of our community, I share her concerns, so.
Amy, do you want to? Did you have,
Let them go first.
Why wouldn't we be able to allow, like, in front of the businesses, the parking spots designated to those businesses? Wouldn't that resolve the issue?
People don't like to read signs, that's part of the, they don't like to adhere to them.
But there are no
Additional
signs.
parking behind the building for the tenants, there's not.
so,
On the brook.
And technically, it's state road, we can't, so like, a good example is right in front of, North Street, right by the post office, there's a handicap spot right at that corner that people can never see somebody trying to cross that crosswalk. I had reached out to DOT to ask to see if I could move that handicap spot because you can't just do it, right? Because they technically, even though we maintain the roadway in a way, they own it. And so I had requested that I move the parking spot above the crosswalk. And an engineer actually had to come up and take a look at it and actually almost witnessed someone get struck by a vehicle and was like, oh yeah, let's move it. So that area is barred out. So we've lost now another parking spot, unfortunately, but,
For the safety of everyone coming through. the
but
traffic.
that's,
Absolutely.
yeah. So
Well,
now
something
that's,
as simple as like a mirror at the, on the Park Road, for when we come out of Smith Lane. Because Tim, you only have so much space there, and you have to pull way out. He's like, well, people can go 30 miles an hour, but not everybody goes 30 miles an hour and you can't see. But when I ask about that, like, we have to go through you have to talk to an engineer has to come out and look at it, and at what
Yeah.
point does something happen, right?
yeah, and that's all depending on what road it's actually on. If it's town road, there's a little more leniency. That does not mean, I'll caveat that, that does not mean speed limits. I still have to go through DOT, shouldn't mean speed limits and all that. They have to do speed signs. But I mean, as far as like slow down signs or that type of thing through town roads, but anything that's on a state maintained or a state road has to go through the DOT process.
we should now, James?
Well, again, I think, Protection has talked about this for over a year. And, sometimes the conclusion you don't want to hear is, but again, we need to do it town-wide. And so this would mean people at church services, funerals would need to go after 2 hours. It would mean the movies, close it at 2 because you got to move your vehicle. It would mean, and I took a picture, I live on a rural road. And this morning I came out at 9 o'clock and I thought, geez, I don't know, we have new neighbors. There was a truck parked there. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I came back 3 hours later and the truck was still there. So am I gonna call the police that there's a truck parked in rural Norton Hill Road? I do not think so. In several conversations I had, and I really don't, it really angers me that you speak that we lied. We did not lie. This is my time to speak. As part of our discussions, Alcina and I think we had hoped to have it last week, to have a parking information meeting. But because Protection didn't meet until last week, that hasn't happened yet. So I'll go on record to say we'll have an information meeting on parking, not a one business. This is not a one business issue. This needs to be looked at town-wide. And frankly, I've gone by and I've seen empty spaces.
That's
Not
not
right in
the
front.
point.
It's the point that parking is an issue for Dover-Foxcroft. Do we want to look to see if we can have a parking garage put somewhere? I do not think so. We need to be good neighbors to say, let's figure out this problem. So in conclusion, I'll say, let's have a meeting next week. Pick a day that works for your schedule, and whoever's interested can certainly show up and have a discussion about parking.
And I will say that we are already in the process of getting a group together to look at ordinances. And this will certainly be one of them. Unfortunately, it's not a quick fix.
Correct.
It has to go through, it has to also be voted on by townspeople. So there's a whole process for that. Ordinances are designed by their nature to not be just, willy-nilly, just throw them in place. They're designed to have public hearings, designed to have public vote, because it is impacting everybody. And that is the way that ordinances are done. And right now, we do not have a standing ordinance committee. And so we are in the process of getting that up. Well, we do, when do we get that started up?
Give me for a year.
The ordinance committee?
Yeah, we worked on last year.
Oh, you're right.
Short-term rental.
But yeah, they
Right.
took,
Sir, you just told me tonight you're handing this over the ordinance
Yeah,
committee. You don't have one?
Yeah, we.
No, we do. Calm down.
Well, you guys are stretching it here,
No, you. All right,
and it's just, whatever. You're gonna do what you wanna do, you're not gonna enforce any ordinance, you're gonna change. the
so this
ordinance.
is the problem. We are working on this. You can spin this however you want in your own head, but that is not necessarily
I'm not
reality.
spending anything, it's been a year and 3/4, nothing's been done. So don't feed me crap, okay? I'm not stupid.
And I'm sorry, I was lied to because I was told, first I was told there was no ordinance. Then I was told there was an ordinance and they would enforce it. Then I've been given 7 excuses for not enforcing it. So I feel, yes, I've been lied to.
I don't know what
You
you
can
call
say
it.
what you want, but I've been lied to.
let me just, one little thing. So initially, we did not know we actually had a parking ordinance. We found it stuffed in one of these little binders. So yes, we had no idea. 'Cause I was-
She told you there was, okay?
But without me having it, I don't know. There was no record of it anywhere else, right? And no one could produce it. And so we looked in, there was 2 binders sitting on that hutch. And we went through that book and we were like, oh, wow, we actually do have a parking ordinance.
There's a sign right in front of the post office, says 2-hour parking, it's been there for years.
Right, I could put up a 2-hour parking spot though and not have a parking ordinance.
Well,
Yeah, but it's just, you put up 2 signs, okay, in
But
front of her business, which is great. But you didn't put any across the street, you didn't put any anywhere else on the street. If you wanna change the ordinance for the parking lots, great.
I just
But
wanna
the-
make a point that we did not lie by saying we didn't have a parking ordinance, simply that we did not know where one was or know of one.
When you
What
told
we
her,
did, we said, hey, we did find a parking ordinance. There was no saying that, there was no deception in that saying that we were lying and we were like, oh, no, we're never.
I was told it would be enforced as well.
I understand that, yes.
told she's not gonna enforce it, so which is it, you know?
Through conversation with the committees, Pam's even come to those committee meetings and the discussions had. The best course of action is to bring this before the ordinance committee, which we have active right now. And they're going to review it for the whole of the town, because right now, we're all in we're gonna be in violation
Yeah,
here.
we know
in a little
that. You
while.
said that.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's just the truth. So it needs to get looked at very carefully and make sure that it fits for our time and will not affect all businesses, even people parking on their sides of the streets for their homes, all that kind of stuff. So it needs to get completely re-looked at and appropriately reworded however it needs to be. And then it, in my opinion, then can be enforced properly.
But you know as well as I do, she's been to you about residents having apartments on Main Street, parking on Main Street all day. This is commercially zoned for businesses, not residents.
No,
Those residents, what?
They're not our part. That's the whole problem here.
Well, they're not, residents should have never been allowed to be put in there. It's commercially
It
zoned.
doesn't, but that doesn't matter.
Why doesn't it matter?
because that's not the way things are now. You
But
can't
they
stay.
shouldn't have been allowed to be a resident by the town. There was no parking to begin with. There should have been never allowed.
That's what it should have, could have. It
Yeah,
doesn't,
well,
it has
just
no,
like this meeting, woulda, shoulda, coulda, it ain't going nowhere, so. That's the way we see it. That's the way it feels.
hang on, Carol?
Thank you. Shift to topic a minute. I heard you mention that, the administrative committee talked about the moratorium. Can you update us on where it is in the process?
Sure, very briefly, we do believe that we should have one. That it's warranted. We have been in touch with the town's attorney to look at the draft that you provided. To make sure that
That's good.
it works. He was on vacation or.
Yeah, I talked to him and he said he should probably have, he should have some stuff for us for the following.
For the following.
The next one.
Thank you.
Yep,
Last question. I just need to know, because of my neighbors, when they filled in my ditches, I need to know when I'm allowed to clear those out so I can stop flooding. Because every time it rains, it floods our driveway.
yep.
Everything.
Every single time.
It does.
Getting surface water in our well, we have to
What's
do
his
another
name?
riser.
Larry.
Larry Levesque
LEVESQUA.
with Renee. Sorry. We've got to have some drainage in there. Everything's gonna flood on the property
Especially
again.
before it freezes.
He's right. I actually was out this morning and took pictures on both sides of the road. And it's still wet in their driveway.
Just from the little bit of rain we
Just
got a
about,
few days ago.
I can show you a picture. It's still
I'm
wet.
showing my cameras right now, the flood, it's still wet.
I literally have a ditch across both of our permitted driveways.
Yeah, it really does.
I
and
don't
it's
know of
wet.
anybody
It
in
would be
this
money
town
if I
that
got
has
it.
a ditch across the driveway.
Do you feel you have what you need to get that resolved, or at least give him the information for?
It's a private road. They're welcome to.
It is a private road.
Yeah.
That's something that
What I
the town
So
does.
we have 6 people, 2 of which are not year-round residents, and the other one, they go away in the wintertime. We're the only year-rounders on that road, and they're trying to pull rank and tell us that what we can and cannot do on the road. I did not move out to the lake to have a dang HOA or someone breathing down my neck as to whether I can plow my yard without being videoed, have gravel delivered without being videoed, or harassed in some way or another, or the town office being called for Nanette being harassed if I get gravel or something, or anything like that. But we do need to be able to, we discussed it last year, how we were gonna do the ditches, the culverts, the culvert across the road. There is nowhere for the water to go now, it's minimal. And when spring thaw, we're supposed to have a wet fall and winter. We're gonna be underwater if we're not able to drain the stuff out.
But, it is a private road, so they should be able to do.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have the other 6 that are come and fill our stuff in.
Yeah, that's, it's some,
No,
yeah.
provocation.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is the difference between a road that is within our jurisdiction and in yours. I mean, we personally don't have any say in it one way or another. I
When
mean,
they
we
first
understand.
came to us about this, they had said that they'd come and spoken to the town office and there was recommendations for drainage to go down to the corner on Smith Lane, which not a problem. We put our ditches and culverts in, but anything after us was not augmented to go down to the ditch that you guys maintain, down to the culvert, my bad, so that it could all drain to where it needs to go, where you guys maintain. After we put they converged on us and said, you've got to put ditches and culverts in, huge culverts, so then we went smaller because the bigger they are, the deeper you have to dig. And then, after we dug our ditches and put our culverts in, they formed the road association for my ditches. And told me that I had to backfill them by November 1st, and if we didn't, they were going to do it. Well, I'm not part of this road association. They told me if I didn't sign, I had no say. But I'm sorry, I still need to get to and from my house 365 days of the year when they don't have to drive on that road when they don't want to. And I need to be able to get in and out of my house without going into 4-wheel drive unless I got 4 feet of snow. I can understand that, but not because of the water and the mud and it's just endless and it goes right into the structure. it's just flooding the property. We need to be able to get rid of the off drain because we're at the bottom of the hill.
Yep.
I understand none of that infrastructure none of it was put in to begin with because they were all just seasonal camps. They didn't have to go down the road if they didn't want to, if it wasn't dry enough. But we have to. This is where I live and they basically, like, I have no joy at my house right now because of this, but just getting in and off my property is ridiculous.
Yep, and and I definitely understand that. Nan has clarified that,
I've become quite popular. They're gonna give me the big head to
Yeah.
keep this up and I'm a celebrity and all of this.
from our standpoint, we're not a party to this.
Right,
Um,
I get that part. But
Well, you kind of
Where-
didn't because you helped us out big time. You really have.
well,
I
we,
appreciate what you guys have done. Are we gonna end up digging ditches and then them filling them back in? Is this gonna be like the old cartoons where, they just beat each other with hammers and walk away or what?
Yeah, I don't wanna give any legal advice or any of
Yeah.
that type of thing, but I mean, like I said, you guys are a private road, so it's up to all of you to maintain it, work
When we did
civilly.
nine one
that type
one,
of
you
thing.
guys, the road is 20 feet wide.
Yeah.
There is a 5-foot easement on each side. And I've got a blowhard walking up to me telling me I've got a 10-foot easement in my front yard and nowhere else. Not 5 feet on each side of the road going down, so I understand it's a civil issue. However, that road's gonna get washed out if we're not able to put our drainage in, and it's gonna get worse.
Yeah.
okay, well,
Yeah,
Yep.
it is. They won't be, if
What
if it gets too wet, you guys won't be able to plow it.
They're really close to the lake. Is there an environmental?
DEP's actually looked at it and said that the road association, was not in violation in putting the gravel in that they put in. And
Even if it's flooding in
It pitched right, they pitched it, yeah, built it up, pitched it
I'll
right
reach
to
out
the
again.
yard, yeah.
I'll reach out again and see if I can find out anything and give them your
Photos.
contact information.
Yeah,
All right.
great.
the photos.
Oh, I've got photos.
Yeah,
all right,
I'll do that.
Jane, yeah,
Just a new topic, with the Fresh Start issue that was brought up, can we just identify a couple committees that can talk about that issue?
probably be Public Works.
Public Works,
So this touches on town property with the infrastructure and parking. So it's a good question. I,
Is it just the parking lot right in front of the church that we own?
yeah, it's
Yeah.
on that land,
And the monument itself, I know, but
yeah. The issue is that the property is one of those old, long-standing properties that would not be, it's non-conforming. They basically don't have any room on the property lot. That would never be allowed right now. You would have to, have the space approved, but this is about as original as you can get right in there.
yeah.
does this go before the planning board?
If we were to change the parking, we were to
I don't think the parking part now, I don't think even that would be going before the planning boards. I know I had spoken to Mr. Party about, the lot eventually being changed because we have that conceptual design to go ahead and increase parking in that area eventually, with very soon. Which would afford us more parking availability up there and everything. And also explain the situation of, during winter. Obviously, we need to keep that plowed. If this was allowed, you'd have to make sure the vehicles would be moved out of the way for snow removal and all that. But I don't see this as an item to go before the planning board as far as parking allowance and everything. I think that's just kind of.
Right.
You
So-
guys agreeing upon a.
Yeah, I mean, we don't wanna do anything that is costly and then. Cause we're currently trying to figure out what to do with that whole area, as part of the downtown planning, so. We'll have an eye on. Not committing ourselves to anything until that committee is finished working, figuring out what to do. But yeah, Public Works seems to be. Okay, anything else? Yep, take that.
Who's on the ordinance
So moved.
committee?
Alciana can provide a list of the things.
And when do they meet?
They've taken the summer off. I'm not sure when the next. The next meeting is September.
September.
Okay, thank you.
All right, motion adjourned.
Motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor?
Decide we have to get.
Have everything.